There are 10 different Disney Lorcana keywords that you should know. Disney Lorcana has 10 keywords, and these keywords give abilities to your characters in the game. Each of the keywords primarily falls into 1, 2, or sometimes even 3 different ink colors. And we're gonna take a look at all 10 of these keywords and find out more about how they work in Disney Lorcana. Before we get into each keyword though, I want to talk about what even are Disney Lorcana keywords. So a keyword is an ability that appears over and over and over again in Disney Lorcana, and it always functions the same way no matter what character it's on in any ink. And it's a way of shorthanding that ability, and that anytime you see that keyword on a character in the game, you know it has that ability. So now that you know a little bit about what a keyword is, let's dive into all of the 10 Disney Lorcana keywords that you need to know. First up is Bodyguard. Bodyguard is primarily found in amber and steel inks. And this is an ability where if you have a character with Bodyguard exerted on your board, that character has to be challenged first if the opponent is able to challenge it before they can challenge any other character. Your bodyguards are there to guard your other glimmers. Your opponent has to get through that bodyguard first before they can challenge anyone else. If you have multiple bodyguards out on the board, then your opponent gets to choose which one they want to challenge first, but they would have to get through all of them before they could challenge any other character. Next up is the Singer keyword. This is one of my favorites, and I think it is so Disney Lorcana, and you'll mostly find the Singer keyword in Amber, though there are a few that you can find in Ruby as well. Now, normally a character could sing any song that has the same cost as that character or less, but the Singer keyword will give a character the ability to sing songs at a higher cost than what the cost of that character is. So for example, a character like Ursula Vanessa is a 2-cost character. Normally she would only be able to sing a song that cost 2 or less, but Ursula has this Singer keyword and it says Singer 4. That means that that character can sing songs that are a cost 4 or less, giving her the ability to sing songs with that higher cost. Singing songs in Disney Lorcana is so powerful because you can essentially play these cards for free. To have these characters with the Singer keyword to be able to sing higher cost songs is really amazing. Support is a keyword that at first I will admit I wasn't a huge fan of. I didn't think it was that great, but it can be very strong in the game. You'll find this keyword in Amber and in Sapphire glimmers, and what the support keyword does is that you have a glimmer with the support keyword that they can support another glimmer by giving their strength to the strength of another glimmer when they quest. So for example, if you had a glimmer with 2 strength, like Illumineer, the Princess of Lear, when she quests, she can give that 2 strength to another character. So if you had something on the board that was only, let's say, a 3 strength character, well now with Illumineer questing, giving her support to that other character, now that character could swing for 5 because of that support. It can come in really handy and catch your opponents off guard. Glimmers with the Challenger keyword can be found in Amethyst and Steel, and your challengers are great for, you guessed it, challenging. Now, normally these characters don't have a lot of strength, but with that challenger, it has a plus X number, so it could be +1, +2, I've even seen +4 challenger, and it will increase the strength of that character by that number when they challenge. Now, this doesn't apply when they're being challenged, so on your opponent's turn, if they get challenged, they only have the printed amount of strength. But when you're ready to challenge with those characters, that challenger keyword will come in really handy. Evasive characters are some of my favorite characters in Disney Lorcana, and you can find glimmers with the evasive keyword in Amethyst, Emerald, and Ruby. An evasive character kind of means that they're really hard to catch, and an evasive character can only be challenged by another character with evasive, asterisk. There is another keyword that gives your glimmers the ability to challenge characters with evasive, but we'll get to that in a minute. Evasive characters are really fun to play with, and there's actually decks that have whole strategies built around just evasive characters, so definitely a keyword that you should know and be prepared for. Characters with Rush are super fun. They can come in and challenge right out of the gate. These glimmers are mostly found in Amethyst and Ruby, and what the Rush keyword does is typically your characters, the turn that they are played, they are still drying, and you cannot take any action with that character until your next turn. That means you can't quest, you can't sing, you can't exert to use an ability, and you can't challenge. But if a character has the keyword Rush, that means they can challenge on the turn that they are played. That means that you could play a character and immediately challenge into an opposing character, taking your opponent by surprise, which is what makes Rush so much fun. Ward is another keyword that I think a lot of Illumineers underestimate. This keyword can be found in Emerald and Sapphire, and its ability means that that character who has the ward cannot be chosen by your opponent for any effects. That means that any character, action, song, or item that an opponent might have that gets to choose one of your characters to do damage to banish, or reduce the strength of, or anything like that, a character with ward can't be chosen by your opponent. It can be chosen by you, and there are cards in the game that forces your opponent to choose the character, and so if your opponent plays a card like that on you, then you can choose your own character. Sort of is like a workaround for ward. But generally speaking, warded characters can't be chosen by your opponent, making them very strong. Of course, ward doesn't protect them from being challenged, so anytime that those cards are exerted, they are vulnerable to being challenged by your opponent. Reckless is the only keyword that can be found in just one ink, and it's only found in Ruby. Reckless is an ability that says that character cannot quest and they have to challenge if they're able to. Now, if there is no character that's exerted, or if there's a character that has evasive and your reckless character doesn't have evasive, well, then your reckless character doesn't have anything to do and they just sit there chilling. But because reckless characters have to challenge if they're able to, those are glimmers that can really keep your opponent in check. Alert is the keyword that I was alluding to earlier that helps challenge evasive characters. Alert can be found in both Sapphire and Steel, and this is an ability where the character itself does not have evasive. Those characters can challenge evasive characters as if they had the evasive keyword. Alert characters are really great, especially if you know that there's a lot of evasive decks out there. Alert is giving you the answers that you're gonna need. Resist might be one of my favorite keywords in Disney Lorcana. I think it's such a strong ability. It is primarily found only in Steel, but you can sort of see it in other inks. In Emerald, there are cards that give your characters resist on your opponent's turn, and then in Sapphire, there are cards that give other characters resist. But characters with resist printed right on them are pretty much found only in Steel. Now, the keyword resist always comes with a number, resist +1 or resist +2, and what this means is that anytime damage is dealt to a character, it is reduced by that number. If a character has resist +1, if they are dealt 3 damage, it's reduced by 1, so they only take 2 damage. Now, something to note is that anytime that you have an ability that puts damage counters on a character, that gets around resist. That is something to be aware of. Also happens with every single time that damage is dealt. Each individual challenge or each time action where song takes place where damage is dealt, each of those is considered a singular event, and the resist takes place in each of those. That makes resist characters very hard to get rid of and banish, making the resist keyword very strong in the game, and again, probably one of my favorites. That covers all 10 keywords in Disney Lorcana. And again, you'll primarily find all of these in 2 inks, sometimes in 3, or in the case of Reckless, just in 1. But this really helps knowing what the keywords do, what inks they're found in, so that way as you're deck building and you look at the 2 inks that you want, you kind of know what keywords that you have access to as you're building those decks and coming up with a strategy. That's everything that you need to know about Disney Lorcana keywords. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit all the buttons below, like, subscribe, and follow along for more Disney Lorcana. And as always, happy questing.